Hello, and welcome back to JBC English Learning Academy. My name is Laura, and I'm here to guide you on your journey to clear, confident, and natural English. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a lesson. Your support truly helps this channel grow. All right, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin today's session. Imagine you are standing at the beginning of a long road. The road is quiet. The air is calm. And you have no idea where this road will take you. You look left. You look right. You look behind you. And then you look forward again. The road is waiting. It is waiting for you. But before you take a step, you hear a soft question inside your mind. A very simple question. A question that almost every person hears at some point in life. The question is, where am I going? This is the question we all face, not only in life, but also in English learning. And today on JBC English Learning Academy, I want to take you on a long, calm, and beautiful journey to understand why this question matters so much, why it shapes your future, and why it can change everything about the way you learn English. Today, we talk about goals. Not big, scary goals that stress you. No, we talk about small goals, soft goals, friendly goals, goals that help you move one step at a time. Because goals are not only about the future. Goals are about today, about the next minute, the next hour, the next tiny action. So take a deep breath and let me walk with you in this story. I want you to feel like you're inside a movie. You are the main character. And this story is about you learning to speak English more clearly, more confidently, and with more peace in your heart. So imagine again that same long road. Now imagine someone walking beside you. It is me, your narrator, walking next to you like a friendly guide. I look at you and I smile. And I say, today we begin a journey together. A journey to understand the importance of setting goals. A journey to help you speak English more clearly. You nod your head slowly. Maybe you feel a little nervous. Maybe you feel excited. Maybe you feel unsure. But all of that is okay, because you're here. And that is the first step. The road is warm under your feet, and the sky is soft and blue. Birds move slowly across the air, and time feels peaceful. As we walk, I tell you a story. A very simple story. The story is about a young person, someone like you, who wants to learn English. Let's call this person Leo. Leo wants to speak English well. Leo wants to understand movies, talk to people, travel, find better work, and feel confident. But Leo has a problem. Leo doesn't know where to start. Leo watches videos. Leo listens to songs. Leo tries to memorize words. But nothing feels clear. Nothing feels organized. And after many days, Leo becomes confused. Leo starts to think, maybe English is too difficult for me. Leo sits alone one night, looking at a notebook full of random words, half-finished sentences, and messy notes. Leo feels lost. And maybe, just maybe, you have felt the same. As you listen to this story, I want you to feel something very important. You are not alone. Every English learner, from beginner to advanced, has moments of confusion, moments of weakness, moments where the road feels too long. But these moments are not signs of failure. These moments are signs that something needs to change. And that something is usually goals. We stop walking for a moment. You look ahead at the long road, and I look at you. And I tell you the truth. The simple truth. When you learn English without goals, it is like walking on a road with no direction. You keep moving, but you don't know where you are going. And, because of that, you become tired very fast. But when you learn English with goals, even small goals, everything becomes easier. The road becomes clear. Your steps become stronger. And every day feels meaningful. You look at me with curious eyes. You ask softly, "But what is a goal?" And I smile, because this is the perfect question. A goal is not a dream. A dream is something you hope will happen one day. But a goal is something you plan. A dream is like a beautiful star far in the sky. A goal is like the small steps you take to reach that star. And for English learners, goals can be very simple. Goals can be things like, today I will listen to English for 10 minutes. Or, today I will learn 3 new words. Or even, today I will speak 1 sentence in English. These small goals may look simple, but they have great power because they give your mind a direction. They tell your brain, this is what we want today. And when your brain knows what you want, it works with you, not against you. That is the magic of goals. You start walking again. And as we walk, I continue the story of Leo. After many difficult days, Leo finally decides to do something different. One morning, Leo wakes up and says, today, I will choose 1 small goal. And that goal is very simple. I will learn 5 new English words today. Only 5. Not 50. Not 100. Just 5. Leo writes them down. Leo reads them slowly. Leo repeats them again and again. And at the end of the day, Leo feels something new. Something warm. Leo feels proud. The next day, Leo chooses another small goal. I will watch 1 short English video. The day after that, Leo chooses another small goal. I will speak 2 sentences in English. 1 day, 1 goal, 1 small win. And little by little, something beautiful happens. Leo begins to change. Leo begins to feel strong. Leo begins to feel clear. Leo begins to feel confident. Because small goals create small wins. And small wins create big change. You listen to this story, and maybe you feel something moving inside you. Maybe you think, if Leo can do this, I can do this too. And yes, you can. And you will. Because you're here, right now, listening to this long journey, and that means you are ready. You are ready to walk the road with intention. You are ready to learn English with clarity. You are ready to create small, simple goals that guide you every day. The road becomes wider now. The sun becomes brighter. And I ask you a question, a very important question. What is your first small goal? Maybe it is to finish this video. Maybe it is to learn 10 new words. Maybe it is to practice speaking for 3 minutes. Whatever it is, choose something simple, something clear, something honest. Because goals do not need to be big to be powerful. Goals only need to be yours. You take a deep breath, and slowly, a small smile grows on your face. Because a new feeling is rising inside you. A feeling of direction. A feeling of purpose. A feeling that you are not lost on this road anymore. You know where you are going. And that is the beginning of everything. But our journey is not finished. It is only beginning. This is the first step. And in the next section, we will go deeper. We will talk about the challenges that come when setting goals. The fears. The doubts. The moments when you want to stop. Because every journey has obstacles. And learning English is no different. But together, we will learn how to pass every challenge with simple English and a strong heart. The road continues. The sky becomes a little softer. The wind becomes a little cooler. And as you walk beside me, you begin to feel something new, something slightly heavy, something that everyone feels when they begin a journey with goals. It is the feeling of challenge. The feeling of trying something new. The feeling of stepping outside your comfort zone. Yes, challenges. They come quietly. They come slowly. and sometimes they come all at once. As we walk, you glance at me a little unsure. You say, I understand the importance of goals. I understand small steps. But what if I fail? What if I stop? What if I forget my goal tomorrow? Your voice is soft, almost like a whisper. And I nod, because I know these questions very well. Every learner asks them. Every traveler on this road asks them. Leo asked the same questions too. And I smile gently because these questions are not signs of weakness. These questions are signs that you care. You care about learning. You care about improving. And that means you are already stronger than you think. We continue walking, and the road becomes a little uneven. There are small stones, tiny bumps, maybe even small holes. Nothing dangerous, just enough to make your steps slower, careful, thoughtful. And I tell you, this is exactly what happens when you set goals. The road becomes real. Before your goals, you are not walking. You were only thinking about walking. But now you are taking steps. And steps always come with challenges. You nod slowly, listening with all your heart. The journey feels real now. You begin to feel the weight of your own experience. You begin to remember days when you started something and then stopped. You remember days when you wanted to study English, but your mind felt tired. You remember moments when you heard English speakers talk fast, and you felt small, confused, maybe embarrassed. You remember all the roadblocks, all the bumps, all the stones. But now, in this moment, I want you to see these memories differently. I want you to see them not as failures, but as part of the journey. Let me tell you what happened to Leo. After choosing small goals for a few days, Leo felt strong. Leo felt proud. But then, something happened. One day, Leo woke up late. Leo felt tired. Leo's mind was full of stress from school or work. Leo looked at the English notebook and thought, not today. I will study tomorrow. And that was the first bump in the road. One day with no goal. Then 2 days. Then 3. And suddenly, Leo felt lost again. Leo said, why am I like this? Why can't I stay consistent? Maybe learning English is not for me. And with that thought, Leo closed the notebook. Do you hear that? Do you feel that? That moment when motivation disappears and doubt enters the room? That moment is something almost every English learner knows. Maybe you know it too. Maybe you have lived it many times. And that is why we need to talk about challenges. Not to scare you, but to prepare you. To make you strong. To show you that you are not alone. We stop again on the road. I point to the stones on the ground. Some are small. Some are bigger. Some are sharp. Some are round. And I tell you, these stones are like the challenges you will face. But each stone also teaches you something. From little stones, you learn to watch your step. From bigger stones, you learn to lift your foot higher. And from sharp stones, you learn to walk more carefully. The stones do not stop you. They shape you. Your eyes widen. You begin to understand. Challenges are not endings. Challenges are teachers. Leo eventually learned this too. After many days of feeling lost, Leo realized something simple but powerful. The problem was not the goal. The problem was expecting perfection. Leo wanted to be strong every single day. But life does not work like that. People get tired. People get busy. People lose motivation. That is normal. That is human. So Leo tried again, but this time with a new understanding. Instead of asking, how do I stay perfect every day? Leo asked, how do I return when I stop? That question changed everything. Because learning English is not about never stopping. It is about always returning. You begin to walk beside me again, but now your steps feel different. They feel heavier, but also wiser. You understand that challenges will come. You understand that the journey is not a straight line. It rises, it falls, it slows, it pauses. But as long as you return, you are still moving forward. The wind picks up slightly, brushing your face gently. And I say, let me show you something else. Look at the trees on the side of the road. They are tall, but they did not grow in one day. They grew slowly, with sun, with water, with time. And even trees face challenges, storms, strong winds, cold nights. But they continue growing, little by little. That is how your English grows too. Not in one big jump, but in many tiny steps, many small moments, many simple goals. Leo also learned something about small steps. When Leo returned to practicing English, the goals became even smaller. Instead of, I will learn 5 words, Leo said, I will learn 2 words. Instead of, I will watch 1 video, Leo said, I will watch 5 minutes. Instead of, I will speak today, Leo said, I will speak 1 sentence. And do you know what happened? Leo felt proud again. Because small goals mean small wins. And small wins give you strength. You begin to understand now that the biggest challenge is not the English language. The biggest challenge is your relationship with the journey. The way you think. The expectations you create. The pressure you put on yourself. Many learners feel confused because they compare themselves to others. They think, why can they speak better than me? Or why am I still slow? But comparison is another stone on the road. And when you step on that stone, you lose your balance. I tell you something that I want you to remember clearly. Your journey is yours. Your speed is yours. Your story is yours. Nobody else's. When you understand this, learning becomes lighter. You stop racing. You stop rushing. You stop feeling behind. Because you realize there is no competition. There is only progress. Your progress. As we walk farther, the wind becomes calm again. The road becomes smoother. And your breath becomes steady. You are learning how to walk with challenges. You are learning how to accept them. And you are learning how to move through them. Let me share another part of Leo's journey. One day, Leo felt frustrated again. This time because speaking felt difficult. Leo tried to speak simple English sentences, but the words felt slow. Leo made mistakes. Leo felt shy. Leo said, I sound terrible. And Leo wanted to stop again. But something new happened. Instead of giving up, Leo remembered the small goal, 1 sentence a day. So Leo spoke only 1 sentence. Just 1. And that was enough for that day. Do you see the lesson? Challenges are easier to face when the goal is small. Because small goals remove fear. They make the challenge feel safe. They make you feel calm. They give you space to try. You continue walking and suddenly, the road opens into a small valley. The scenery becomes wide and open. You look around, feeling a sense of freedom. And I tell you something very important. Every challenge you face becomes easier when you accept that challenges are part of the process. They are not mistakes. They are not failures. They are signs that you are trying. You look at the sky. It is bright again. And your heart feels lighter. You finally understand that learning English will not be perfect. But it will be meaningful. Because it is your journey. And you are learning to walk it with strength. Leo's story slowly becomes your story now. You begin to see your own experiences inside Leo's challenges. And you begin to understand that you can move forward even when the road becomes difficult. You can continue even when the goal feels heavy. Because now you know the secret. The goal does not need to be big. It only needs to be yours. The sunlight slowly touches the road ahead, creating a warm golden path. You and I begin walking again, and I say softly, now that you understand challenges, you are ready for the next part of this journey. The exploration. The deeper discovery. The part where you learn how to create goals that truly work for you. Goals that match your life, your time, your energy, and your dream of speaking English clearly. You take a slow breath. You feel ready. You feel stronger than when you started. And you whisper, let's continue. The road becomes wider now, almost like it is opening its arms to welcome you. The sky above grows brighter, and the soft wind from the valley lightly touches your face as you walk. You take a deeper breath this time, a calmer one. You feel a quiet strength inside you, the kind that comes not from being perfect, but from understanding yourself better. We have talked about goals. We have talked about challenges. And now it is time to explore something even more important. Something that decides whether your goals will work or disappear. It is something simple, yet powerful. It is your direction. As you walk beside me, your footsteps slow down just a little. You look ahead, and I can see the curiosity in your eyes. You finally ask, in a soft voice, what does direction really mean? I smile, because this question shows that you are ready for the next level of the journey. And I tell you, direction is the reason behind your goal. Direction is the why. Direction is the quiet voice inside you that says, this is important to me. Direction is what guides your steps when the road becomes dark and you forget why you started. Your eyes blink slowly. You understand the words, but you want to feel the meaning. So I continue walking with you, and I begin to tell you another part of Leo's story. After facing many challenges and small moments of doubt, Leo realized that something was missing. Yes, Leo had small goals. Yes, Leo tried to be consistent. Yes, Leo returned after stopping. But something still felt confusing. Something felt unfinished. Some days, Leo felt strong. Other days, Leo felt unsure. And Leo thought, why do I want to learn English? What is the real reason? What is my true direction? This simple question changed everything. And I want you to ask yourself the same question. Let me say it again slowly. Why do you want to learn English? Really think about it. Not the answer your teacher wants to hear. Not the answer society wants, but your answer. Maybe you want to speak clearly when you travel. Maybe you want to understand movies without subtitles. Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you want new friends. Maybe you want to feel confident. Maybe you simply love the sound of English. Or maybe you want to prove to yourself that you can learn something new. No reason is too big. No reason is too small. But you must know your reason. Because when you know your reason, your goals become stronger. And when your goals are strong, you keep going even when the road becomes difficult. Leo spent a long time thinking about direction. One evening, Leo sat by the window, looking at the city lights outside. Cars moved slowly. People walked without noticing. The world felt busy, but Leo felt still. And in that quiet moment, Leo whispered, I want to learn English because I want to speak to the world. I want to open new doors. I want to see what I can become. And suddenly, everything became clear. That was Leo's direction. You may not know your direction yet. And that is okay. That is why we are walking this road together, to help you discover it. So I ask you again, gently, why do you want to learn English? You do not need to answer right now. You do not need to rush. The answer will come. Sometimes it comes suddenly, like a flash of light. Sometimes it comes slowly, like the rising sun. But it will come. And when it comes, it will guide your steps. We continue walking, and you begin to notice something. The road we are on has many small paths going left and right, like little choices waiting for you. And that is exactly how English learning works. There is no one perfect path for everyone. There are many ways to learn, many ways to grow, many ways to practice, and you get to choose the path that matches your direction. For example, if you want to understand people better, your direction is listening. If you want to speak with confidence, your direction is speaking. If you want to travel, your direction is real-life vocabulary. If you want a better job, your direction is professional English. And once you know your direction, your goals become clear. You stop choosing random things. You stop feeling lost. You stop guessing. You start moving with purpose. You and I walk into a small field now. The grass is soft and green. The sunlight touches the tops of the blades gently, like a quiet blessing. Everything feels peaceful. And I look at you and say, let me help you explore this idea deeper. Imagine your journey like a river. If you know where the river is flowing, you do not panic. Even if the water becomes faster. Even if the river takes turns. Even if you cannot see far ahead. Because you know your direction. You know where the river wants to go. That is how your mind feels when you know your personal reason for learning English. Leo understood this very deeply. Once Leo knew the direction, the why, everything changed. Leo's goals felt easier. Leo's challenges felt smaller. Leo's mistakes felt normal. Leo's progress felt real. And the road of learning English stopped feeling like a heavy duty and started feeling like a beautiful choice. I want your journey to feel like that too. As we walk, I ask you a question you may not expect. How do you want to feel while learning English? Most people never think about this. They think learning English is only about results, about exams, about fluency, about grammar. But your feelings are important too. Do you want learning to feel calm? Fun? Slow? Exciting? Gentle? Motivating? Friendly? When you know how you want to feel, you can choose methods that match your heart, not someone else's expectations. Maybe you enjoy listening to simple English stories. Maybe you enjoy watching short videos. Maybe you enjoy repeating sentences slowly. Maybe you enjoy talking to yourself in the mirror. Maybe you enjoy studying in the morning. Maybe at night. Whatever you enjoy can shape your learning journey. Because when learning feels good, you stay consistent. You return easily. You grow naturally. Let me share more from Leo's story. After discovering the why, Leo explored different ways to practice English. At first, Leo tried difficult materials, hard books, fast videos, complicated podcasts, and all of them felt stressful. Leo felt tense, tired, frustrated. And then Leo asked, what do I enjoy? Leo realized, I like simple stories. I like slow English. I like calm explanations. I like hearing someone speak like a friend. So Leo changed the method. Leo chose materials that felt gentle, materials that matched Leo's heart. And suddenly, learning became joyful, simple, soft. And that joy became fuel. Fuel to keep going. Fuel to continue. Fuel to grow. You and I walk farther into the field, and you begin to feel the meaning of the story. You begin to understand that English learning is not only about discipline. It is also about emotion. It is about the connection between your mind and your heart. And when both move together, you become unstoppable. We sit down on a small hill. Maybe today your direction is to speak clearly. But next year, maybe your direction will be to travel. Or make friends. Or read books. Or watch movies. Your goals can grow as you grow. Your direction can move as you move. And there is nothing wrong with that. We stand up again, and as we walk down the small hill, you look more peaceful. You look more thoughtful. You look more connected to your own journey. You now understand something powerful. Learning English is not only about the language. It is also about understanding yourself. Leo learned this too. And that understanding gave Leo confidence. Not loud confidence. Not showy confidence. But quiet confidence. The confidence that says, I know why I am here. I know where I am going. I know what I want. And now, you are starting to feel the same. The road ahead becomes clear again, long and open. Your steps feel natural. You walk with more balance, more calmness, more intention. You are not rushing. You are simply moving with purpose in your heart. I walk beside you and I say, now that you understand direction, you are ready for the next part of our journey. The realization. The moment where everything connects. The moment where you begin to see your true power as a learner. The moment where your goals stop being ideas and start becoming part of your life. You breathe softly. You look ahead. And you whisper, I'm ready. The road becomes quieter now. The soft sound of wind fades a little, and there is a calm silence around us. It is not an empty silence, it is a peaceful one. A silence that lets your mind breathe. A silence that prepares your heart for something important. Because every journey has a moment, a turning point, a moment where everything becomes clear. And today, on this long walk together, you are reaching that moment. As we walk, you notice that the valley behind us is getting smaller. The open field is slowly disappearing. And now we are entering a new part of the path, a place with tall trees, long shadows, and sunlight that breaks through the leaves like golden pieces. The air is cooler here, and every step feels more meaningful. You can hear your footsteps on the soft ground. You can hear your own breathing. You can even hear your thoughts, slowly becoming clear. I walk beside you and say, this part of the road is special. This is where most learners begin to understand something powerful. Something that changes the way they see English. Something that changes the way they see themselves. You look at me with curiosity, waiting, listening. And I smile gently because I know what you are about to realize. Let me explain it through Leo's story, because Leo walked this same path once. After finding a direction, after understanding the purpose, after exploring the why, Leo woke up one morning with a strange feeling. Not fear. Not confusion. Not stress. It was something different. It was something lighter. Something softer. Something that felt like a quiet awakening. Leo sat by the window again, holding a cup of warm tea. And instead of thinking, I must study English today, Leo thought, I want to learn today. And that little change, that small shift from must to want, was the moment of realization. Leo realized that learning English was not a punishment. It was not a responsibility. It was not something to fear. It was something to enjoy. Something to explore. Something to grow with. Something that belonged to Leo's life, not as pressure, but as a choice. A beautiful choice. And I want you to feel the same realization. As we walk deeper into this tall, quiet forest, you begin to feel something similar. You begin to understand that English is not your enemy. English is not a wall. English is not something that judges you. English is simply a tool, a bridge, a key, a companion, a friend. And when you see English as a friend, learning becomes soft, calm, natural, like breathing. We walk under the tall trees, and the sunlight dances gently on the ground. Little golden spots appear and disappear as the leaves move. This light reminds me of something, and I share it with you. Realization is like sunlight in a forest. It does not come all at once. It comes in small moments. But each ray of light helps you see the path more clearly. You take a slow breath. And I can see something changing inside you. Not outside. Inside. Something small. Something gentle. Something real. It is your own moment of realization beginning to form. I tell you, the biggest realization for every English learner is this: I can do this. You repeat those words quietly in your mind. I can do this. The words feel soft at first, but slowly they start to feel true. They start to feel like yours. Leo felt the same. After weeks of doubt, Leo finally said, I can learn this language. I can take small steps. I can grow. I can improve. I can speak. And that belief changed everything. Not because the language became easy. Not because the challenges disappeared. But because Leo finally believed in the journey. I want you to understand something important here. Realization is not about skill. It is not about grammar. It is not about memorizing everything perfectly. Realization is emotional. It comes from the heart. It is the moment you decide to trust the process. The moment you accept that learning takes time. The moment you give yourself permission to grow slowly. We continue walking deeper into the forest. The path becomes a little narrow now, but it feels safe. The air smells fresh. You hear the soft sound of leaves moving gently above us. Everything feels calm and peaceful. And in this calm, I ask you a simple question. When did you last tell yourself that you are capable? You think for a moment. Maybe you said it long ago. Maybe you never said it. Maybe you always doubted yourself. But today, right now, on this quiet forest path, say it to yourself softly. I am capable. I can learn. I can grow. You may feel shy saying it at first. But the forest does not judge you. The road does not judge you. And I, walking beside you, do not judge you either. Your journey is your own. Your feelings are your own. And your growth will come in your own beautiful time. Let me share something else from Leo's journey. One day, after realizing the truth about learning, Leo tried something simple. Leo stood in front of a mirror. And instead of practicing grammar or repeating words or reading sentences, Leo looked directly into those reflection eyes and said, You can do this. Not in a loud voice. Not in a dramatic way. Just calmly. Softly. Honestly. And that one sentence changed the energy inside Leo's heart. A new kind of confidence began growing, like a seed receiving sunlight for the first time. As we walk, I tell you something very important. Confidence does not come from speaking perfectly. Confidence comes from believing that mistakes are normal. When you say the wrong word, that is normal. When you forget a sentence, that is normal. When you freeze or pause, that is normal. Every English speaker in the world, including native speakers, makes mistakes. So why should you fear them? Why should they stop you? Mistakes are not proof of failure. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. You begin to feel this truth. You begin to understand that you do not need to be perfect to learn. You do not need to speak fast. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to continue. Slowly. Gently. One step at a time. We pause for a moment at a small opening in the forest. There is a tiny stream flowing beside the path. The water is clear and soft. It moves slowly over small stones, making a quiet, peaceful sound. You watch the water with calm eyes. And I say, look at the stream. It does not rush. It does not push. It moves slowly, but it always moves forward. That is how your English journey should feel. Leo learned this too. After many weeks, Leo realized that slow progress is still progress. That small improvements are powerful. That simple practice every day builds strong skills over time. And once Leo accepted this, English learning became smooth. Not perfect, not fast, but smooth. We cross a small wooden bridge over the stream. Your steps are calm, balanced. You feel more centered now, as if your heart is finally walking in the same direction as your mind. You're starting to trust yourself. You're starting to trust the journey. And I can see this in the way you hold your shoulders, the way you breathe, the way you look ahead with quiet confidence. We continue walking, and suddenly the forest becomes brighter. The trees become thinner. The sunlight becomes stronger. And I tell you, this brightness is your realization growing. You smile softly. You can feel it. You can feel that something inside you is shifting. You are not only listening to this story, you are living it. We walk until the trees open into a small, beautiful clearing. The grass is short and soft. The sunlight is warm. The sky is a clear, gentle blue. And in that peaceful clearing, I stop and look at you. I say, this clearing represents your mind when you realize your power. Open, calm, clear. You take a slow breath. You feel peaceful. And then, slowly, that peaceful feeling transforms into something stronger. Something deeper. Something like inner strength. Your realization becomes clear. You are capable, you are growing, you are improving, and you can continue this journey. This is the moment that changes everything. This is the moment that prepares you for the next step of the adventure. The moment where you understand who you are as a learner. The moment where English becomes not a challenge, but a friend. We begin walking again, leaving the clearing behind us, stepping back onto the warm road. And I say, now that you understand your strength, you are ready for the transformation. The part where your goals become actions. The part where your actions create progress. The part where you begin to live your English, not just learn it. The road ahead becomes warm again as the forest slowly opens. The tall trees behind us begin to fade into the distance. The shadows become shorter. The air becomes brighter. And you can feel something shifting not around you, but inside you. It is the quiet beginning of transformation. The moment when learning stops being an idea and becomes a part of your life. The moment when the small goals, the challenges, the direction, the realization, all connect and start to guide your steps naturally. You walk with me at a comfortable pace now. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your breathing is soft. You are not rushing. You are not stressing. You are simply moving forward. And that is the heart of transformation, not speed, but direction. Not perfection, but progress. We walk into a wide, open space with golden grass that moves gently in the wind, almost like waves on a quiet sea. The sun touches the field softly, and everything feels peaceful. You and I walk through this open land, and I tell you, this place represents your mind when you begin to change. Open, clear, ready. You look around with wide eyes, noticing every little detail, the soft movement of the grass, the slow clouds above, the quiet air. And I tell you something important. Transformation does not happen in one big moment. Transformation is slow. It is gentle. It is something you feel more than something you see. Let me show you what I mean through the next part of Leo's story. After the realization, the moment Leo accepted that English was a friend, not an enemy, something new began happening. Leo started making small choices every day. Not big, dramatic changes. Simple ones. And these simple choices slowly transformed Leo's learning journey. Every morning, Leo listened to a short English audio while preparing breakfast. Not for studying, just for exposure. Leo listened calmly, without trying to understand every word. Just letting the sound of English become familiar. That was the first transformation. In the afternoon, Leo practiced speaking 1 minute of English. Only 1 minute. Sometimes Leo talked about the weather. Sometimes about what happened during the day. Sometimes about feelings. Sometimes just repeating simple sentences. I am learning. I am growing. I am trying. That was the second transformation. At night, Leo wrote one small sentence in a notebook. Not a full paragraph. Not a full page. Just one sentence. Today I learned, or today I listened, or today I felt, and this small sentence became a record of progress. That was the third transformation. Do you see the magic? It wasn't big goals. It wasn't long hours. It wasn't pressure. It was gentle, consistent, simple actions. And those actions slowly changed everything. You walked beside me, listening deeply. And I tell you, your transformation can also be gentle. Learning English does not need to feel heavy. You do not need to study for 5 hours. You do not need to memorize long lists. You do not need to push yourself until you feel tired or stressed. Your transformation comes from the small things you do every day, the things that feel easy, natural, friendly to your mind. Let me show you how transformation happens inside you, step by step, without you even noticing. At first, you begin to listen more. You listen to English videos. You listen to slow English stories. You listen during breakfast, during a short walk, or before sleeping. Not because you must, but because it feels good. It feels simple. It feels calming. Then, you begin to speak a little. Maybe to yourself. Maybe in front of a mirror. Maybe repeating after a narrator. Maybe just whispering simple sentences. And your tongue begins to feel more comfortable. Your mouth becomes used to English sounds. Your voice becomes more natural. Then, you begin to think small thoughts in English. Very small. Like, I am hungry, or the sky is blue, or I am walking now. And that is another small transformation, thinking in English without even realizing it. You continue walking with me across the wide field. The sunlight moves across your face. Your steps are steady. And I tell you something many learners do not know. Transformation happens quietly. You do not always see it, but you feel it. Leo felt it too. One day, after many small daily actions, Leo was sitting at a cafe. 2 people nearby were speaking in English. Normally, Leo would understand nothing. Normally, Leo would feel nervous. But this time, Leo understood a few words. Not everything, but a few. And that moment felt like a warm light inside Leo's heart. That was transformation. Another day, Leo watched a movie with English subtitles. And for the first time, Leo recognized some words without reading. That was transformation. Another day, Leo spoke a short sentence with confidence. Not perfect grammar, not perfect pronunciation, but with confidence. That was transformation. Transformation does not shout. It whispers. It grows quietly in the background while you do small things. As we walk, the golden grass around us begins to move like a soft ocean. The wind is gentle but steady. It feels like the world is breathing with you. And I tell you, your transformation begins when English becomes part of your day, not part of your stress. You walk slowly, letting the words settle inside you. And you begin to feel a soft truth rising. Learning English is not only about skill. It is about lifestyle. It is about rhythm. It is about gentle, daily touches of practice. We continue walking, and the path begins to rise slightly. A small hill appears in front of us. Nothing difficult. A gentle rise. And this rise represents something important. Transformation is not flat. It lifts you. It raises your confidence slowly, step by step. As we climb the hill together, I share something personal with you. Every English learner who succeeds has one thing in common. Not intelligence. Not memory. Not talent. They have consistency. They show up. Even on tired days. Even on busy days. Even for 5 minutes. They keep walking. Leo learned this too. And now, you're learning it. When we reach the top of the hill, the view is wide and open. You can see the field behind us, the forest farther back, and the long road that brought you here. You look at how far you have come, even inside the story, and you feel a small, warm pride inside your chest. Not loud pride. Quiet pride. The kind that says, I am moving forward. This feeling, this new breath, this lightness, this is what transformation feels like. But it is not only emotional. Transformation also changes your actions. For example, you begin to choose simple English videos instead of scrolling social media. You begin to repeat sentences during your day. You begin to think in English for a few seconds. You begin to speak slowly without fear. You begin to enjoy the process instead of stressing about it. These tiny changes, repeated quietly every day, make a powerful difference. And this is what I want you to feel through this journey, that your transformation is already beginning. Because you are listening. You are imagining. You are understanding. You are opening your mind to a new way of learning. We walk down the hill on the other side, and the road becomes straight again. The sun is setting slowly now. The sky turns soft orange, with hints of pink and purple. The day is ending, but your journey is not. Not at all. In fact, your transformation is what prepares you for the next big step, reflection. Reflection is when you look at yourself gently, not with judgment. Not with stress, not with criticism, but with honesty, with kindness, with understanding. Reflection helps you see what is working, what is not, and what you need next. Reflection completes transformation. So as the sky becomes darker and the road becomes cooler, I look at you and say, you have reached a beautiful part of your journey. You have begun to transform. You have begun to grow. And now you're ready to look at yourself in a new way. You take a quiet breath and you feel ready. The sky above us slowly turns into a soft evening color, a gentle mix of orange, pink, and deep blue. The sun is lowering itself carefully behind the horizon, almost as if it wants to watch you for just a little longer, to see how far you have come. The air becomes cooler. The world becomes quieter. And the road ahead glows softly under the last light of the day. This moment, this quiet, peaceful moment, is perfect for reflection. You and I walk slowly now. There is no rush. There is no pressure. We let the silence hold us for a few steps. You can hear the sound of your own breathing, the soft rhythm of your footsteps, the easy wind brushing past your ears. It all feels calm. It all feels gentle. It all feels right. Reflection is not about looking back with sadness. Reflection is not about judging yourself. Reflection is not about saying, I should have done more. No. Reflection is something soft. Something kind. Something honest. It is the moment when you stop walking just to see how far you have come. I look at you and say, let's take this moment slowly. You have walked a beautiful road. You have learned more about goals, challenges, direction, realization, and transformation. Now it is time to look inside yourself with kindness. We keep walking, and the evening air feels almost like a warm blanket around your shoulders. You can smell the earth cooling under the sky. You can feel time moving a little slower. And this is exactly how reflection should feel: slow, calm, comfortable. Let me show you how Leo reached this part of the journey. One evening, after many days of small practices, Leo sat alone on the balcony of the apartment. The city lights glowed softly. Far away, cars moved like tiny dots in the dark. The sky was full of stars. And Leo felt something unusual, not stress, not confusion, but a quiet desire to look back, not at mistakes, but at progress. Leo remembered the first time opening a notebook and feeling lost. Leo remembered days of frustration, days of stopping, days of doubting. But Leo also remembered the small victories, the first time understanding a simple sentence, the first time speaking a short phrase, the first time listening without fear. And slowly, Leo realized something powerful. I am not the same person I was when I started. And that is what reflection is. Not looking at what you didn't do, but looking at what you did do. Not focusing on your weaknesses, but recognizing your small strengths. Not worrying about the future, but appreciating the progress of the past. We continue walking toward a small hill with a wooden bench at the top. The bench looks simple and old, but it feels inviting, like it has been waiting for someone who needs a quiet place to think. When we reach it, I sit down and gesture to you to sit beside me. The view from the hill is beautiful. The field behind us glows in the last golden light. The forest far away looks like a dark sea. The road stretches out gently, disappearing into the soft night. You feel a peaceful silence around us. And in that silence, I ask you gently, what have you learned about yourself on this journey? You think for a moment. You don't need to rush. Reflection is slow. Maybe you learned that you can stay calm. Maybe you learned that learning English can feel gentle. Maybe you learned that small goals make a difference. Maybe you learned that mistakes are normal. Maybe you learned that you are stronger than you thought. Whatever you learned, it belongs to you. It is part of your journey. And it is something to be proud of. I look at you again and say, reflection helps you understand your strengths, but it also helps you see what you need next. Not in a stressful way. Not in a heavy way. In a simple, honest way. So let me ask you a question, as softly as the evening wind. What do you need most in your English journey right now? Maybe you need more listening practice. Maybe you need simple speaking exercises. Maybe you need encouragement. Maybe you need patience. Maybe you need routine. Maybe you need to stop being afraid. Maybe you need to trust yourself more. Whatever the answer is, it is the right answer. Because reflection is not about being correct. Reflection is about being honest. Leo also asked these questions. And after thinking deeply, Leo learned something very important. I need kindness. I need to be kind to myself. That simple realization changed everything. Because many learners think they need discipline. But sometimes, they just need gentleness. They need a softer approach. They need to treat themselves like a beginner, with patience. The sky grows darker. The first stars appear. The air becomes cool and quiet. You sit beside me, watching the night grow slowly around us. And I say, reflection also helps you release the pressure you carry. Let me show you what that means. You take a deep breath. And imagine you are holding small worries inside your chest. Worries like, I am too slow. My English is not good enough. I make too many mistakes. I don't know enough words. I am embarrassed when I speak. These worries are normal. Every learner feels them. But during reflection, you can set them down gently, like placing heavy stones on the ground beside the bench. Not throwing them away. Not fighting them. Just placing them down for a moment. Giving yourself space to breathe. Leo did this too. One night, Leo whispered, "It's okay if I'm slow. It's okay if I'm learning step by step." And that simple acceptance brought peace. You begin to understand that reflection is beautiful. Reflection is not about changing the past. It is about accepting it and learning from it, and then moving forward with calmness. As we sit together, a soft breeze touches your face. The night is becoming deeper, but the world feels safe. And I say something I want you to remember forever. Reflection gives you clarity. Clarity gives you strength. And strength gives you progress. We sit in silence for a moment, watching the night sky. You feel something warm inside your chest, a mix of pride, calm, and motivation. And in that warmth, you feel more connected to your English journey than ever before. Finally, I say, now that you have reflected, you are ready for the final part of our journey, the takeaway. The final wisdom. The final message that will stay with you long after this story ends. You stand up slowly. You feel lighter. You feel clear, and the road ahead glows softly under the moonlight. You look at me and whisper, "I'm ready." And together, we begin walking toward the final chapter. The moon rises slowly above the quiet road as we walk together into the soft darkness of the night. The stars are scattered gently across the sky, shining like tiny lamps guiding our steps. The world around us feels calmer than ever. The air is cool, but not cold. The wind is soft, but not silent. Everything feels peaceful, as if the night itself knows that you are reaching the end of an important journey. But endings are also beginnings. You walk beside me, and your steps have changed. They are steady. They are confident. They are gentle, but full of intention. You are not the same person who began this journey many chapters ago. You have walked through understanding, through challenges, through direction, through discovery, through transformation, through reflection, and now you stand at the door of something new. Something meaningful. Something strong. I look at you and I say softly, this is the final part of our journey together. The takeaway. The wisdom you will carry with you long after this story ends. You look up at the moon and you feel ready. We walk deeper into the night and the road becomes smoother again. The sky glows with a silver softness and the grass on both sides of the path shimmers lightly under the moonlight. It is beautiful, calm, quiet, comforting. And I begin to speak in a slow, warm voice. Everything you learned on this journey can be held in one simple idea. Small steps, repeated gently, create big change. You breathe slowly, letting the words settle inside you. Because they are not only words, they are truth. Deep truth. Truth that can shape your entire English learning journey. Let me explain it with Leo's story one last time. After long days, small goals, simple practice, and quiet reflection, Leo finally understood something powerful. Learning English is not about speed. It is not about perfection. It is not about comparing yourself to others. It is about choosing small steps every day. It is about practicing with kindness. It is about trusting the process. Leo realized that a 5-minute practice is still practice. A short video is still learning. Point 1 sentence is still progress. Point 1 new word is still growth. Point 1 moment of courage is still transformation. And that understanding changed Leo's entire experience. English learning stopped being heavy. It stopped being stressful. It stopped being something to fear. It became something natural. something gentle, something honest. You have reached the same point now. You walk beside me, the night sky above us, and I tell you, your takeaway from this journey is simple, but powerful. I pause for a moment, letting the quiet night wrap around us. Then I say, you can do this. You are already doing it. And you will continue to grow, one small step at a time. You close your eyes for a moment. You let the words wash over you like soft water. And you feel something deep inside, a quiet certainty, a calm confidence, a gentle belief in yourself. We continue walking, and the sound of our footsteps mixes with the soft whispers of the wind. I tell you another truth. Speaking English clearly does not begin with grammar. It begins with clarity of the heart. The moment you believe you can improve, your voice becomes stronger. Your words become smoother. Your mind becomes calmer. Leo discovered this slowly, day by day, and now you are discovering it too. You walk with me a little farther, and the road begins to rise again, a small hill that leads to a higher place. This hill represents your future, your continued journey, your ongoing steps. The hill is not steep and it is not long, but it feels meaningful, as if something important is waiting at the top. We walk together at a slow, steady pace. With each step, I give you one takeaway, one simple truth to hold in your heart. Takeaway 1, you do not need to be perfect. You only need to be present. Takeaway 2, every small goal is a victory. Takeaway 3, mistakes are not signs of failure. They are signs of progress. Takeaway 4, your direction matters more than your speed. Takeaway 5, English is not an exam. It is a tool, a friend, a bridge. Takeaway 6, you are in control of your own journey. Takeaway 7, consistency is stronger than motivation. Takeaway 8, you are capable of learning anything, step by step. As we climb this small hill, the moonlight becomes brighter. The road shines with a soft, silver glow, and you feel stronger with every step. Not because the hill is easy, but because you are no longer afraid of the journey. When we reach the top, the view is breathtaking. The valley is below us. The forest in the distance looks like a dark cloud. The golden field from earlier now appears soft and blue under the moonlight. And the long road behind us shines gently like a memory full of meaning. We stand at the top of the hill in silence for a moment. You look at everything around you. You see every part of your journey, the beginning, the challenges, the direction, the realization, the transformation, the reflection. And suddenly, you understand something powerful. All of those moments were not just a story. They were a mirror, a mirror of your own learning, a mirror of your own heart, a mirror of your own strength. You take a slow breath. You feel taller. You feel lighter. You feel ready. I turn to you and say, this is your new beginning. The wind moves gently through your hair. The stars shine above us. The world feels open and full of possibilities. From this moment on, I say softly, your English journey will feel different. Not because the language changed, but because you changed. You smile, not a big smile, not a dramatic smile, just a small, warm smile that grows from inside. And that small smile tells me everything. It tells me that you understand. It tells me that you are ready. It tells me that you believe in yourself more than you did before. We begin walking down the hill, slowly, gently, peacefully. And as we walk, I give you your final takeaway, the most important one. The road of learning English does not end here. It continues with you. Every day, with every step, with every small goal, with every gentle breath of confidence. You feel this truth settle inside you like a soft flame. A flame that will guide you through your future practice. At the bottom of the hill, the road splits into 3 paths. Each path looks different. One is long and straight. One curves gently into the distance. One leads toward tall mountains far away. I look at you and say, these paths represent your future choices. You can choose any one. There is no wrong road. There is only your road. You take a deep breath, you look at the paths, and you feel ready to choose, ready to continue, ready to grow. Before we part ways, I place one last idea gently into your heart. Speak slowly. Learn gently. Practice with kindness. And trust yourself. You are becoming the English speaker you want to be. You look at me and with calm confidence, you nod. And then, you begin walking forward on the path you choose, not with fear, not with doubt, but with clarity, with purpose, with peace. And that is the true importance of setting goals. Not pressure, not perfection, but direction, growth, strength, and a new beginning. As you walk forward into the soft moonlight, your journey continues beautifully, gently, confidently. And from this moment on, English is not just a language you are learning. It is a story you are living. Thank you so much for joining today's lesson here at JBC English Learning Academy. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below telling me what you want to learn next. Your support helps the channel grow and helps me create more lessons for you. Take care, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next class.